"You're trying to kill me," I said. After a lifetime of desert living, I had not expected a watery death. I'd grown up in Arizona, spent much of my adult life as a war correspondent in the Middle East, and had returned to Arizona a few months earlier after a bomb tore up my leg. Now my sister had determined that I should do a 50 at 50 challenge, where I tried 50 new things the year I turned 50. It was hard to say no to Jen, mainly because she ignored the word and rolled right over you anyway. My birthday was a couple of weeks away, so we'd started early. At least she was paying for this adventure, in the financial sense. I might wind up paying in other ways, and she was doing it with me. "Don't be a baby," Jen said. "Lots of people do paddleboarding. Children do it." You do realize it's called stand-up paddleboarding? Have you seen me stand lately?" Jen gave a dramatic sigh. "You're fine. You're getting too dependent on the cane anyway." Easy for her to say. She wasn't the one who had to use it. To be honest, my leg had gotten stronger over the last few months. I still limped and bumped into walls when I first got up after sleeping or sitting for a while, but once I'd taken 20 steps or so, I could usually walk straight. And the paddleboard instructor knew about my situation. I still hesitated to use the word disability. It didn't seem fair to claim that status when my injury was sudden and, hopefully, temporary. Plus, I didn't want to be disabled. Granted, who did? Most people probably face that future kicking and screaming, or, in my case, punching and screaming, since kicking got harder when you had a bad leg. The instructor got each of us set up with a life vest and a safety whistle. The whistle was required by law, in theory, to warn boaters, but I figured it would also let me call for help if I got in trouble. An ankle leash would keep the board close, and the board could also be used as a flotation device. The paddle would help us move out into the lake and back again. Then we had hats, sunglasses, and long-sleeved shirts for sun protection. I'd gone into war zones with less equipment. While the guide, Misty, helped the other people in the group, I quickly checked my email on my phone. I was hoping for a response from my boss at the Associated Press on my latest submission. I hadn't been able to return to the field, and I reluctantly had to admit I might never be fit enough for that kind of reporting. As if the injury weren't bad enough, my body didn't bounce back nearly as quickly anymore. I'd started writing longer, more in-depth stories targeted at magazines, but I hoped to give my AP boss an excuse to keep me on a little longer, since I needed the health insurance I wouldn't get as a freelancer.